Have you ever wondered why some people can completely transform their lives while others stay stuck in the same patterns for decades? I used to think it was about willpower or finding the right strategy. But after years of studying both successful traders and high performers across different fields, I discovered something that completely changed my perspective. Most people are approaching personal growth entirely backward. They're focusing on the wrong element of change, and it's keeping them trapped in a cycle of temporary motivation, followed by inevitable failure. By the end of this video, I'm going to share the fundamental shift that makes lasting transformation possible. Something most gurus never talk about because it's not as marketable as quick fix solutions. Let's start with a question. Why do most people stay stuck in old patterns despite genuinely wanting to change? The answer isn't what you might expect. It's not about laziness or lack of information. Most people struggle because they're focusing entirely on outcomes and actions without addressing the invisible force that drives all behavior, their core identity. Think about it. How many times have you set a goal, felt incredibly motivated for a few days or weeks, only to gradually slide back into your old habits? This happens because you're trying to change your actions without changing how you fundamentally see yourself. This naturally leads us to what I call the identity-behavior conflict. When your actions conflict with how you see yourself, powerful internal resistance arises. Your motivation fades not because you don't want the results, but because you're fighting against your own self-concept. Let me share a personal example. For years, I struggled with consistency in trading. I'd create detailed plans, set strict rules, but when market conditions got challenging, I'd abandon my system. The problem wasn't my strategy or even my discipline in the moment. It was that deep down, I still saw myself as someone who needed to outsmart the market, rather than someone who trusted a proven process. This is where it gets interesting. Most personal development approaches focus on setting better goals or creating stronger habits. But these approaches often fail because they don't address the root cause, your identity. When your identity aligns with your desired behaviors, those behaviors become almost effortless. You're no longer fighting against yourself. I've created a framework called the discomfort method that helps people navigate this exact challenge. It's a systematic approach to personal transformation that begins with defining the real problem, taking radical ownership, and identifying the specific discomfort you're avoiding. I'll share how you can access this free resource in just a moment. But first, let's explore how identity shifts actually create lasting change. Instead of setting goals like, I want to trade profitably or I want to lose weight, the identity-based approach focuses on who you want to become. I am a disciplined trader who follows my system regardless of emotions, or I am someone who prioritizes health in daily decisions. This shift might seem subtle, but it's transformative. When you adopt the identity of a disciplined trader, following your trading plan isn't something you force yourself to do. It's simply an expression of who you are. The actions flow naturally from your identity. The science behind this is fascinating. Cognitive psychology shows that when we adopt a new identity, we dramatically increase the likelihood of maintaining positive behaviors long term. Our brains work to maintain consistency between our self-image and our actions. This shift makes new behaviors automatic, rather than requiring constant willpower. So how do we actually make this identity transformation happen? I've developed a 5-step framework that I've seen work time and again, both in my own life and with others I've mentored. Step 1 is to identify your current self-concept. Most of us have limiting self-definitions we're not even aware of. Do you see yourself as someone who always procrastinates? As someone who's not good with money? These identity beliefs drive your behaviors far more than your conscious intentions. In step 2 of the discomfort method, I guide people to take radical ownership of their situation. This means honestly assessing how you've contributed to your current circumstances and identifying what aspects you actually control. This step is crucial because you can't transform what you don't own. Step 3 involves identifying the specific discomfort you're avoiding. Most of our problems persist because we're unwilling to face certain uncomfortable emotions or truths. For example, many struggling traders avoid the discomfort of admitting they don't have an edge in the market, or the discomfort of following a boring but effective strategy. The 4th step is defining the next version of yourself, your aspirational identity. This isn't about fantasy, but about clarifying who you need to become to achieve your goals. Instead of focusing on what you want to achieve, focus on who you want to be. Once you've defined this aspirational identity, the fifth step is to create identity-based evidence. This means taking small but consistent actions that reinforce your new self-image. Each action, no matter how small, becomes evidence that supports your new identity. For example, if you're adopting the identity of a disciplined trader, even a single day of following your trading plan exactly becomes evidence that supports this new self-concept. Over time, these small pieces of evidence compound into a completely transformed identity. Another powerful technique is developing identity-reinforcing language. The words we use to describe ourselves shape our self-perception. Using statements like, "I am a disciplined trader," or "I am someone who embraces discomfort for growth," helps solidify your new identity. This is where most people encounter resistance. Shifting identities creates psychological discomfort due to what psychologists call cognitive dissonance. When you start acting in ways that contradict your established self-image, your brain experiences tension. This discomfort isn't a sign of failure, it's actually evidence that you're growing. In step 3 of the discomfort method, I teach people to identify and lean into this discomfort rather than avoiding it. Growth happens at the edge of your comfort zone, and recognizing the specific discomfort you're avoiding is often the key to breakthrough. Let me share another practical strategy: designing identity-supporting environments. Your surroundings powerfully influence your behavior. If you're trying to become a disciplined trader, but your trading station is chaotic and filled with distractions, you're creating unnecessary resistance. Similarly, the people you spend time with shape your identity. If you want to adopt the identity of a disciplined, process-focused trader, spending time with gamblers who chase hot stocks will create identity conflict. Surrounding yourself with people who embody your aspirational identity accelerates your transformation. Visualization is another powerful tool for identity transformation. Spending just a few minutes daily visualizing yourself as this new person, seeing yourself making decisions and taking actions aligned with your new identity, creates neural pathways that support your transformation. But here's what transforms this completely: understanding that maintaining long-term identity change requires documentation and celebration. Keeping a journal that tracks your evolution provides concrete evidence of your transformation. And celebrating aligned decisions, not just outcomes, reinforces your new identity even when results are slow to materialize. Remember that fundamental shift I mentioned at the beginning? It's this. True transformation happens when you shift your identity, not just your actions. When you change how you see yourself at the core level, the actions and results you desire follow naturally. This is why two people can follow the exact same strategy or system with dramatically different results. One has aligned their identity with the process, while the other is fighting against their self-concept with every action. So where do you go from here? Start by downloading my free guide, The Discomfort Method, through the link in the description. This framework will walk you through the exact steps to identify your current self-concept, take radical ownership, identify the discomfort you're avoiding, define your aspirational identity, and create evidence that supports your transformation. Begin asking yourself, who do I need to become to achieve my goals? Rather than just, what do I need to do? This subtle shift in focus changes everything. Remember, the quiet edge in personal growth isn't about finding some revolutionary new technique. It's about the disciplined process of aligning your identity with your aspirations. It's not flashy, but it's what actually works. If you found this perspective helpful, hit the like button and share it with someone who might be struggling with personal transformation. Drop a comment below with the identity shift you're currently working on, and I'll personally respond to as many as I can. Until next time, this is Ken from The Quiet Edge.